Thanks, Chair. I want to talk about the ongoing problems with the Albury-Melbourne rail line, which I've been working on the past year. So, look, does the ATSB, you did a 2013 report on the Albury-Melbourne rail line, the ongoing problems with mud holes and speed restrictions. Do you still stand by your finding in that report that there are ongoing issues with the underlying track formation?
Good morning, Senator. Neville Blythe, Acting General Manager, Surface Safety Investigations. In respect of your question about the report, yes, we stand by the findings of that report. That report outlined a range of issues that were identified with the condition of the foundation and the track, and those findings are indeed relevant.
Right. And so last night I was asking questions of the Australian Rail Track Corporation, who it appears there's been a difference of opinion between you and them as to that they don't support your finding, well, your assessment that there are issues with the underlying track formation. Can you give me any sort of technical information about why there's a difference of opinion between the two of you?
Yeah, thank you, Senator. I think potentially there isn't the difference of opinion that came to light or was expressed. The ATSB's perspective on the matter is that, as the ARTC's is, that the foundation of the track is an old foundation. It obviously wasn't constructed in the day to contemporary standards, and in the analysis that the ATSB has done, the ballast fouling problem that the ARTC mentioned is inherently as a result or made more complex by the foundation conditions. So we hold that the ballast fouling, which is producing the mud holes, is potentially a product of the foundation. And the commentary in our report suggested that unless further work is done to reinforce or rework the foundation, then the problems of mud holing and ballast fouling may continue. We certainly don't have the position that there's a safety issue at present. The ARTC's actions in respect of managing the safety of the Sydney-Melbourne line, in respect of the application of speed restrictions and other operational interventions in the areas that are affected are quite effective, and the ATSB is quite satisfied in that regard. Right,
but in terms of ongoing issues, given your view that there is an ongoing issue with the old track formations, unless that's addressed, your view would be...
There is the potential, yes. Our position is that unless the foundation, the old, potentially soft foundation in some areas, is rectified, and we do appreciate that is a complex and potentially expensive exercise. Unless that is fully rectified, there is the potential, Senator, for ongoing development of mud holes and other degradation such as we've seen already.
And would you agree, I've been told that there's currently 8 temporary speed restrictions on the tracks between Albury, Wodonga and Seymour. One of them on the west track between Benalla and Glenrowan was declared by ARTC in January this year at over 2.5 kilometres in length, now extended out to 3.8 kilometres, and significantly that this section of track had their ballast rehabilitation program work carried out on it last year. So this would seem to support your position that the ballast rehabilitation program isn't going to deal with all the problems.
Without speaking to any specific or local area issues, and obviously this is a complex matter with interaction between ballast and foundation and the duty of the track, the axle loads and this type of thing, without speaking to that, yes, we would agree that there is the potential for, unless foundation is completely reworked, there is the potential for ballast contamination, ballast fouling to recur after a period of rework or after a period of rainfall and continued operation.
Yeah. And that certainly has got serious implications for maintaining good speeds on that line of track.
It is an operational concern, operational efficiency concern, Senator, yes. In respect of timeliness and the utility of the track, it is a concern. From the ATSB's safety remit, we're quite satisfied that provided that the operator is happy to tolerate the speed restrictions, then the safety is being maintained.
Yeah, but it's
an operational.
Essentially, it would mean that there would have to be ongoing speed restrictions for indefinitely.
That is the potential, Senator.
Yes.
And if it runs across a 100-foot deep bog hole, you bypass the bog hole or put up with a speed restriction.
Yeah, but
Yes, Senator.
it had serious implications for running an efficient rail service, and particularly as the section of track between up to Yass is going to be used for the inland, proposed to be used for the inland rail. But you've got an underlying track that seems to still have.
Yes.
Yeah,
Inland rail's not going to Yes.
I was told that.
Get your facts.
Yeah,
It's going to turn off at Stock and Mingle a little way. Go to Stock and Mingle.
well, okay, I'm told that there is an area of track between Melbourne and Yass which is currently planned to be reused without further major capital expense as part of the inland freight rail project.
That's a different proposition.
Okay. What is the ATSB's ongoing role in maintaining, in looking at issues like this?
Senator, we respond to any safety occurrence that comes, is reported to us through the arrangements for reporting of these things. We'll assess those in respect of our priorities. Our prime priority is the safety of travelling public in respect of the safety of passenger carrying train operations and these types of things. So any potential issue with track that is being used either continuously or periodically for passenger services will be attended to. We don't have a maintaining brief for monitoring the safety of the track in any type of active sense outside of safety occurrences. However, we do pay very, very close attention to anything that might suggest manifest or a continued issue that has been brought to light in previous investigations.
Do you have a role in potentially suggesting potential methodologies to the ARTC as to works that would need to be undertaken, could be undertaken, given if there was resources available to do that?
Not overtly, Senator. Our analysis obviously was based upon the gathering of evidence, the ARTC's resources and such that these types of issues and the assessment of the extent to which they are an issue and the range of or the length of track over which ballast is a problem, foundation is a problem, is a matter for the ARTC, and there is a number of obviously physical tests that would need to be done and assessments that would need to be done by the track manager to properly assess the condition of the foundation before any rework was planned.
But your summary is that they would expect to have ongoing problems that could only, in terms of safety, you're satisfied that they can be dealt with by speed restrictions, but in terms of an efficient rail operation, that's...
We would expect that the track operator would maintain safety. It's up to them to decide amongst the options they have to maintain safety. Obviously, speed restrictions are an inefficient way of maintaining safety, but we're satisfied with their effectiveness.
Right.
And yes.
Great. Thank you. I've got one other area moving quite a long way away from the Albury-Melbourne rail line regarding the search for MH370. In determining where to search in the Indian Ocean, can you indicate, have you accessed and looking at the monitoring results of buoys in the Indian Ocean with acoustic capacity? IMOS, the Integrated Marine Observing System, for example, the Australian institution with such buoys.
Yes, we have, Senator. We've been working to understand whether there is anything that's useful to inform the search in that. The preponderance of evidence and analysis at the moment is that anything that was detected didn't relate to the aircraft, it related to potential earthquake or other things. Mr Foley might have something to add to that.
Peter Foley, Program Director, Operations Search for MH370. Yes, we looked very early on in the piece at hydrophone arrays, at hydrophone systems. Curtin University had some in the to the north off Carnarvon, a number of hydrophone systems off there, and of course we downloaded data and didn't find anything that was looked as though it might have been indicative of an aircraft colliding with the surface of the ocean. As Mr Dolan said, anything that was detected, and there was a detection of an event about an hour afterwards, I believe, it indicated it was probably of natural origin. So I think it was some ice breaking off the Antarctic shelf.
Okay. So that was what was detected off Carnarvon, you're saying? Was that
no, that was actually the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty Array off Cape Lewin, that one.
Okay. I'm told that there was a noise episode that was in a line between the Maldives and Mauritius that was potentially in the right time frame. Is that one that you have investigated?
Yes, there was, and indeed that was, once again, that's the detection I referred to earlier. That's the, and that once again was not the right time. It created some interest at the time, but it was, as I say, it was about an hour after the event. So and I must correct myself, the ice shelf breaking was actually detected on the Curtin University hydrophones to the north off Carnarvon. The one that you're referring to was the one that was an hour after the fuel exhaustion point of the aircraft, and triangulating the actual direction that it came from, it was pointing towards the Maldives. You're quite correct, but the timing was incorrect. The aircraft would have exhausted its fuel about an hour beforehand.
Okay.
That one was actually put down to, I think, noise, actually. There was, because it's Diego Garcia, which is in the same general directions, very acoustically noisy. It was put down to some sort of activity to the north.
Okay, so you have, but in summary, so you have investigated that particular one
Correct.
and ruled it out. Good.